Welcome, everybody, to the parent and kids panel. I am one of the kids. So I have not been given specific instructions, but we've all been here a while, and I think we kind of know what we're doing. So I'm Spencer Albright. Andy Albright's my dad. I have been officially full-time with the Alliance coming up on 4 years. But I like to tell people I've been in business for 10 years. Well, I'll be in 10 years soon. So even though I'm young, I have been around. I do kind of sometimes know what I'm talking about, and have a lot of great guests to join me. So how about, I guess I'll tell a little bit about myself, and then I'll let these ladies do the same. So I'm from here in Burlington. Grew up around the Alliance, so I've been here at headquarters, as long as we've had the building. And now I live in Raleigh down the road with Meredith and Ada and Crawford. Thank you. Yeah, Crawford is 4 weeks and 1 day old, and Ada is 20 months and a couple days old, so they're both young. They're staying at home this week. Grandma and Grandpa are staying at our house, helping Meredith out with them. But I did not get into the Alliance originally, so I went to NC State. I grew up, obviously, my dad's a diehard Wolfpack fan, so it was kind of like part of my destiny. But I loved it. I got the full college experience, got a business administration degree, because I kind of figured, I don't know if I want to do insurance with marketing or business. I can kind of get into whatever I want, probably. People are always hiring from NC State, so I thought. Actually ended up getting a job thanks to connections. Y'all always hear, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So another integrity company that does more Medicare focus, they were looking for, young, sharp people to work for them. So I got connected, got a job with them for 11 months is how long my real job experience lasted. And then I was talking with Brandon. He kind of knew I was in that spot where it's like, I don't want a job. I hate being told what to do, having to clock in every day. I can't go bear hunting whenever I want to. So he was like, just come over to the business. You already know how it works. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I listened to Brandon. So I got to come in. Luckily, Brandon had already been doing it full-time for a couple years, so I had his mentorship, and then, of course, I grew up my whole life with my dad's mentorship. So I guess, and I'm kind of just winging this, y'all, so I'm kind of thinking of, I listen to what my dad says. He gives a lot of good advice he teaches me on the business stuff too, but more than that, like, what else is going on? And, I think of lately, I've been really good about reading. So, it's one of the 8 steps. Make sure you're reading, and it's not necessarily what is just going on in the business, but what's going on in life. So, always, I think I listen more to what he's saying about life in general, and then applying it to my business and applying it to my life, because it's super helpful. But it's been cool to see now other kids, cousins, we're at family reunions, so we're getting the family into the business. But it's cool to see other people coming in now. And even we had Taylor talk to a dude that he's not with us yet, but he's kind of like, yeah, my son's 18. I want to get him into business with me and get started. And, I'm like, well, that's a great idea. That's how I got into it. My dad inspired me to get started. So here I am, continuing to build. I think it was a couple events ago, talking about the Katz strategy of building your business. So I still got 17 years before but I'm going to have 2 strong legs in the future, so y'all watch out. But yeah.
I would encourage you to go faster.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the long game, So yeah, that's about me. You want to start down this end, or you want to go? All right.
Hello, everyone. We're Marni and Sabrina Frank. We're out of Tampa, Florida, direct to Jason and Olga Mathis, a part of Riddle Nation. When I first got into the business, I was in nursing school at the time and being a part-time CNA. So I was taking care of a 98-year-old woman. And I totally found this all by accident. She wanted a +1 at the 4 years ago exactly at the last family reunion 4 years ago. And I was just amazed. I mean, they were going over the 2-leg thing, even like, I think I was mainly amazed with like all of the intellectual stuff like Robbie Kraft and like, oh, I could do this. So on the way home, I was like, hey, I can do this. And she's like, you can do what? I'm like, the insurance thing, part-time, while I go to nursing school. And a little bit after that, I really started viewing my worth. So I was making about $13 an hour being a CNA, and I was able, with the help of Jason Riddle, I got $15 an hour. And that was a big win for me. But shortly after, November that year, so we came in June, or July, and November that year I ended up quitting because I was making, triple if not 5 times more doing this in 1 weekend a month than I was doing the part-time CNA work. But I'm overall thankful for this opportunity, and that I was a +1. I had no intentions of joining this at all, and my sister was actually fast-tracked before me. It was never, I was going to be a nurse and I was going to go run a hospital somewhere, and that was my goals. But I was very happy I was able to come across this.
Hi, y'all. I'm Marni, and I'm the mom. I'm the parent. And yes, I have 2 wonderful daughters, and only one is here, which goes to show you. It's not for everybody, right? My other daughter is at home, and she actually, not everybody will do it. Okay, how's that? She has the same opportunity. So Sabrina's right. Jason had found me. He recruited me, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll give it a try. And I tricked Sabrina, kind of, because I did not want to come to one of these events on my own, and I was afraid, and I was alone. So what better to do it with is a partner, right? Either a friend, a child. So I'm like, well, here, Sabrina, let's go. I don't care what you do. Just come. And on the way home, she did say, I think I can do this. And I said, do what?
And I had to pay for it.
Yeah, she had to pay for it too. I was broke, okay? We went on her credit cards, okay? So that was an ulterior motive.
You should tell that often.
Of why Sabrina.
That's
Are we
funny.
still broke? No.
No, that's funny. I think.
You didn't
Y'all
know
think
that
it's
part,
funny?
that she had to pay for it?
They agree. Everybody thinks it's funny. Raise your hand. Because like sometimes people say something and they go, that's funny. I go, everybody raise your hand if you think it's funny. Nobody raises their hand. I go, no, it's not. But like, that was funny. That was funny? You should tell that.
So
People don't like that because they feel like that's embarrassing themselves. I go like, look at you now.
Yeah.
You understand 90% of your people you were talking to did the same thing or wish they had a daughter. You with me?
Yeah,
That's
well,
a
I like
good
when
story.
people say they can't get here, and it's like, just get in the car
Get
and
your
start
daughter to
driving.
do it.
You can get here. Trust me. Ask your daughter to pay for it. No.
You should say that.
Right? We did it a little differently. So as you know, I wasn't in this business, and then Sabrina got into this business. We actually created our team together. So at the beginning, it was from start one. So I started with life insurance. I trained her. She took on Medicare. We trained each other. Then we took on the estate planning. So we've built this really from the ground up. And I can't say, it's so fulfilling. And when people ask you, what is your why? What is your legacy? Mine is because I'm doing this all for my daughter. Like everything I'm doing up here is for her. The business, everything, it's going to be hers, and I couldn't leave a bigger legacy.
How
right?
you dealing with the other daughter? Because like this one's going to become a multimillionaire, have a dynasty. What are you going to do? Leave the other one like $25,000 life insurance policy or something like that? Or do you just don't care?
It's really hard, but I won't be here when that comes to fruition, so Sabrina's going to have to take the heat. Because, I mean, obviously, we've worked and built this whole thing together, and my daughter chose not to partake, so I can't
You can't make them.
to her. Right.
You can't make them.
No. She came to 2 events, the last 2 events, and then every time she leaves, you got to get people here. She's like, I can do this. She's recruiting a little team, but you got to get people here to the events, because every time I do get her and bring her, she gets motivated. So that's what's really important.
How old is she?
She's 28.
All right. You got some time. All right. Good job.
Hey, I am Emily Katz Cardillo. So I grew up in this business. I've been attending these conferences. My first event was Family Reunion the year I was 9 years old. So I have been hanging around the team, fell in love with the culture. I still went to NC State, followed Andy's influence just like Spencer. Figured if I can go to football games and hang out at the tailgate, why not? So went to NC State, got my business marketing degree, graduated when I was 19 years old with my bachelor's. And I started part-time while I was in college, but then moved down to Florida after I graduated and have been full-time for about 5 years now. So it's been really exciting. I just grew up watching my dad travel a lot, build the business. I loved the relationships. There's so many people. I can see Dan and Deanna in this room. I can't really see a lot of other people. So just the relationships that he built, the friendships, and just watching him following Andy and Jane's leadership was just something that I wanted that a part of my life. I wanted the money, wanted the travel, all of that, but I was just like, I know I don't want a 9 to 5. I know I don't want to just fall into that. That's not going to be exciting because whenever he's going to Cabo, whenever he's going to Thailand, I want to be a part of that. And so I've been doing this, building the team with my now husband, Harry, and it's been an incredible journey and excited to see where it goes from here.
I am Sarah Katz Hartley, and December will actually be 10 years that I've had my license. Like Emily, I grew up under Andy's, tutelage, and he has made me unemployable, which has been really phenomenal. I graduated from Wingate University with a degree in communications when I was 20, and I worked in insurance doing final expense and stuff over the summers during my college. And then I fell in love, and then I chased a man across the country. And we've been married, it'll be 6 years in October. We have, our son is almost 3, and our second child is on the way.
Woo! Yay! Yeah. More grandbabies.
But I always stayed around the company. I always came to events even when I wasn't working. I knew final expense wasn't where I wanted to be, but this was where I wanted to be. And then Andy brought in the estate planning, and I was like, shoot, that's my niche. That's what I wanted.
Yeah. Adam Katz, proud father of these two. And I don't take...
Anderson.
And yeah, I do have a son as well. He liked coming to the conventions in Raleigh when we were doing those because there was that. He liked Jimmy John's right there, and there was a little Chinese place right there, and that's why he came to conventions. But Emily and Sarah both were locked into the culture. Beth and I, we go back 33 years with Andy and Jane. Jane and I used to teach school together. Lillington Middle School is where we first met. She was an 8th grade science teacher. I was 7th grade social studies. And we just fell in love with the vision, the heart, the integrity. I knew Andy was going somewhere. And I just, Beth and I just made a decision we're going to hitch our wagon to the Albrights and just keep rolling with them. And I credit, people come up to me and say, your daughters are so good. And it's like, yeah, they grew up Albright. They grew up Albright. And it was this culture that he's created that they were a part of that's why they're so beyond their years in terms of poise, thought process, conviction, and the way they carry themselves. And couldn't be more proud of them and what they're accomplishing. And they're both killing it from a business perspective as well. And one of the things that we learned through Andy is chase your dreams. That's what he really put into mine and Beth's heart is chase your dreams. And so our son is out in Los Angeles. He's trying to get into the industry, and he's chasing his dream. And because of this business, we have the ability to supplement his ability to do that. And when Sarah came to us and said, I don't know that I want to do the alliance right now. She was engaged to Jacob, and it was just a lot going on. And it's just like, sweetie, you follow your dreams. You don't have to have our life, but we're always here for you. And then Emily, Emily couldn't wait to get out of college so she could go full time with us. And it's really cool to be able to do this with your kids. I know sometimes people are like, working with family can be tough. And I understand it can be. And I'm not saying it's been, rainbows and unicorns the whole time we've been working together either. Sometimes I'll get a look from Emily and, rolling the eyes and things like that. And it's just like, calm down. But at the same time, to be able to link arms and build something together is just really cool. And so we're excited about that aspect of it.
Good job. Congratulations. So give it. Sarah. So everybody's, you're hearing Emily's name a lot, but do you have any idea what's been deposited in your checking account so far this year through sales? Mike?
Probably $35,000.
Y'all hear me? 35,000. Somebody should be clapping for this young lady. She's a full-time mommy. She's a stay-at-home mommy, except when she don't want to. When she don't want to, she go to a seminar. She don't want to, she ain't got to work. What's your rank of that husband?
He's a captain in the Air Force.
Clemson graduate. We're not going to hold that against him. He's a good person. And a captain. Money coming in. They got great benefits, great health insurance. She worked for the government. She made $35,000. Do you know how many hours she would have to babysit? You know how many hours if she was tutoring to make $35,000? And then the government would steal 12 of it. I'll make sure that people insert my interpretation. It's called taxes. You call taxes theft? Yes. That's why we're not British anymore. We got tired of that crap and said, here's your tea back. And then it just went cray-cray. So they steal $12,000. Well, you got to pay taxes here? No, not if you ain't making $35,000 so far. You ain't gonna pay taxes. Why? Because she got business write-off, like coming to hang out with her mama and daddy, and do something that she wants to do with her hobby. That's crazy to me that somebody else will be like, this ain't my cup of tea. So so working at Bojangles is your cup of tea? Babysitting, taking care of old people is your cup of tea? Wiping old people's rear ends with saggy butts is your thing? What's that thing where you put them, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, them drains in there? God, imagine I ain't doing that. Catheter, yeah. How much does it cost not to work here? That's what I'd be saying, All right, but $35,000 in 6 months, part-time, when she wants to. And she's just getting started. Just starting to sell, just starting to build a network. You go, oh, she's been doing it 10 years. She's like 28 years old. It's brand new. You with me? How old are you?
I'll be 28 in December.
She's only 27 years old. It's just inconceivable to me. Now, here's the thing. Well, my kids are 40 and they're in it. I don't have no kids. We're in a network marketing. That's like you being short and saying you can't be a great basketball coach. You don't recruit people shorter than you, you recruit people taller than you. You don't have kids to get involved, getting people that got kids to get involved.
Right.
It's an inspirational marketing. Biggest thrills since you've been involved with your mama? Traveling, getting big checks, seeing mama smile. Sabrina. Biggest thrill since you've been in the business with your... Oh, and I see Aaron Leventovich, I see Beth Katz, I see Jane Albright. We have a big panel up here if we want to. It's just this is what we went with. Hey, I was like, Haley should be up here. Hey, Haley. All right, Sabrina.
The last 4 years have been life-changing. I felt like I was picked up and moved practically, like my whole path I mean, just like that, going to one event, and I mean, going to Ireland, Cabo, Alaska. I didn't grow up Albright, but I grew up Frank, in the sense of my parents were entrepreneurs, and I knew there was always bigger stuff out there. The ebbs and flows of business. Oh wait, I mean, it wasn't easy. But really being in a downward at getting into this and now feeling like I'm at the peak of the mountain, which I know there's, more peaks. It's been, I mean, life-changing and crazy, and I feel like I've totally reset my whole life.
Same. Most crazy, fired up, inspirational. What's happened?
The most crazy
Great
for
job,
me
Sabrina.
is being able to do this with my daughter every day. Sometimes when people call and they'll want to ask Sabrina a question, they'll be like, wait, she's not there? You're always together. Well, we work together and live together. So we are together, but we do separate. But the biggest thing to me is I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I've owned businesses, restaurants, million-dollar homes. I've done all that. But I have never in my life worked with somebody that enabled us to get there and be debt-free while doing it. So Sabrina keeps us on track. She keeps us organized. All of our debts are paid off. So now we travel around, and the other day it was like really funny. We were trying to buy a couch, and we were looking at this couch, and the sales rep tried to sell us a $20,000 couch. And believe it or not, we were sitting there actually thinking about this $20,000 couch.
That's what I'm
Remember,
talking
I have
about.
5 dogs, okay? And I said, well, that could be a car. We didn't buy the $20,000 couch, but it was amazing that the two of us were sitting there discussing buying a $20,000 couch.
And we could.
And we could. We could just buy a $20,000 couch if we wanted to. To me, it's just the freedom is amazing. And I'm teaching that to my daughter, and hopefully, eventually, my other daughter, who some reason does not see all this. I don't know.
I was thinking if you can buy a $20,000 couch, you could hire 9
That's why we didn't buy the
international
couch.
recruiters. Huh?
That's why we didn't buy the couch.
Good thinking right there.
Uh-huh.
Way to keep that powder dry. Emily?
There's a million moments I could choose from. I think Ireland was a big one.
Why don't you
'cause
stand up and talk?
I think Ireland was a big moment because I had been to Ireland previously. My parents had been to Ireland previously, but then to go back together on an alliance trip, and it's like, oh, here was our favorite moment. Here was our favorite moment. Being able to show each other. It's like they were able to pay for me to go to Ireland originally, and then being able to go back together was really cool. But I will say, I think one of the best experiences, haven't had it yet, but I am fired up about tonight. Am I allowed to?
Yeah. We talking about Ben Carson?
Yeah.
And your dinner?
Being able to have
Hell
dinner
yeah.
with Ben Carson and my parents and Andy and Jane Albright. I mean, Ben Carson is somebody I studied in school, and it's just like being able to see somebody so influential to the world partnered with 2 of the most influential people in my life. It's just experiences you can't have anywhere else but through the alliance. And so I'm just so grateful for the opportunity, Andy. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for giving me the financial ability to do it as well.
Hell yeah. Good job. Same thing, Sarah. Sarah, jump up.
I think for me, my husband and I just came from living in Oklahoma for 4 years. And moving to Oklahoma, moving halfway across the country, didn't affect my relationship with my family at all. Because I feel like we see them as often living in Georgia as we did in Oklahoma, as we would if we lived in North Carolina. Because there was no question that we're going to be there for each other. And that's just the way we were raised, that's the way we showed up, and that's what the Alliance has allowed the opportunity for. And so when I had my son Michael, my parents got an Airbnb in Oklahoma for 6 weeks. So they could be there and not be in our space, because that would drive my husband crazy. But I got to have the grandparents right around the corner for that time, and even when they left and went back home, it never felt like they were any further than around the corner. And that's been such an incredible blessing. And then bringing in this estate planning piece and seeing how it fits in to my life and my goals. And it's given me this vision of a dream that I'd kind of let go of for a while, of when my husband's contract is up, if he wants to renew, that's his choice, that's our family's decision. But I don't ever want him to renew because it's how we pay our bills. And this has given me a clear path of confidence that this is the way for me to go, of I can give him that choice.
Hell yeah. So like Tia, this is what I do. Like, so here's what I'd say to Taylor. I'd be like, see, money don't make you happy. But when you get a boyfriend and you want to be alone with him and y'all had a baby, you don't want mom and daddy up in the house. And they poor and can't afford to stay there, and you got to cook and feed and clean for them. You done had a baby. That won't make you happy neither. But if mom and daddy has enough money to get an Airbnb where they don't come up in there bothering you and stuff, that make you happy. Now say mom and daddy ain't got the money, and you say, don't worry about it, mom and daddy, I got this covered. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not the money, it's keeping other people out your business. You know what I'm saying? You get up there in first class in an airplane, it severely limits the amount of dum-dums around you. Money just eliminates. It just scatters the dumbness. And only the people who got some sense be up in there with you. It's people can't translate having money with not having to be piled in the same house with your children and stuff like that. Like they don't put two and two together. But translating this to the children so they see and they go, oh, and it's just so different. Or how about this? Spencer's not been to Rwanda, but I was just downstairs in the African Focus or African Asset, and I was talking about going to Rwanda. Me and Jane went there, and I was talking about in other countries. Spencer's like, we've been there and seen it. What people don't know, people don't know. And two guys jumped up and said, Rwanda. And I was like, you're not from Rwanda, are you? And I go, yeah. I go, I want to meet y'all. And I go talking to them, and I go, because I'd have made a mistake. I said the genocide was in the 80s, and they would say, it happened in 94. And I said, that's inconceivable. But if you don't know the story, I'm not going to try to tell you, but until you've experienced stuff, and I'm going to steal one of Spencer's. We were on our jet, and somebody looked at Spencer, and they were talking about riding helicopters. They said, this is the way I remember it. He can tell you how he remembers. They said, you ever flown a helicopter? And Spencer went, I've hunted gorillas. I mean, I've hunted apes and stuff from a helicopter. Does that count as flying a helicopter? And they're like, yeah, if you've hunted apes from a helicopter, that counts. But until you've just nothing. Like people are so impressed with a shiny object, but if your kids understand the concepts, they're not tricked by trickery. How about this one? I don't know about y'all's experience, but growing up, I always heard that rich people were arrogant and mean and nice. And did when I consider it, I have never ever been. My experience has been the opposite. First class, people are so much nicer helping you out. And then at the private jet, where we walk in there versus those strip search people, the people they don't let carry a gun, but they think they do. You know what I'm talking about? Take out your iPad. Like, girl, she speaks Chinese. She's not deaf. You go in our place, they go, hey, Mr. Albright, we'll get you a cup of coffee and some popcorn. Let me get your bag. To me, it's been the opposite. But if you don't educate them, they grow up thinking that nicer people are the poorest. Nuh-uh. Sorry, Mr. Katz.
Well, just kind of tying into that, it's the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money is, and a lot of people, they just miss that part. And what I've seen through my 56 years of life, 33 of them with Andy and Jane, is that the people without money are the ones who love money a lot more. They're the ones giving up everything to chase it. The people who have money, it's just a means. It's just a means of exchange. And getting to travel with the girls is really cool. Being able to do that, being able to help Andrew. Live in Los Angeles, and then being able to fly him home when we want to fly him home, and we want to encourage him to stand on his own 2 feet and to be his own man and all of those things. But while he's getting acclimated and going through that, the ability to help him do that, being able to send all 3 of the kids to Europe when they were in high school, and give them those experiences you wonder this. Is the sacrifice worth the result? Because I was away a lot. I was building a business. I was serving other families. And sometimes when you serve other families, you're depleted when you get home. And so sometimes you don't always give your kids the best of you because you gave the best of you when you were out on the road. But Beth did a phenomenal job of building me up to our kids. She never made me being on the road a negative to the kids. She could have been, can you believe your father's gone again? She never did that. At least I've never heard her do that. And the kids, but and never did. And but what she did do was this. She did this. She said, "Can you believe your father's on the road again, slaying dragons for us, chasing the dream, being the example, and they're here, which means it must have been right." Their mindset, their attitude, their vision, the way they expect their life to be. See, I didn't grow up expecting life to be first class. I grew up expecting life to be a scramble. And then when we saw what life could be, we wanted to be that example for our kids. And it's just been a blessing doing this, and then watching Spencer and Haley grow up, and we patterned our world after Andy and Jane's world. Andy going out there charging full speed ahead, building a business. Jane keeping down the home front to give him the freedom to go out and build a business. And Beth did the same thing. This is our business because I didn't have to worry about what was going on at home. And that freedom to just go and be that example for our kids is why our kids are as badass as they are. Can I say it? Sorry, Taylor. Just bad to the bone. And it truly is family. And that's why they want to be here, and that's why they want, that's why they want to be close to us and not be disconnected. So.
What's inspired you? Stand up and light them up, please.
Well, I did want to throw in this. It was pretty cool the other day. Meredith was like, did you see that football player, Jay Cutler? He's getting a lot of heat for some animal that he killed. And I was like, oh, let me go look. So I go on his Instagram. He played for the Bears. And I was like, oh, that's a beautiful sable. I'm like, nobody else knows what a sable is. Like, y'all don't know what a sable is. But it's cool to know that because I've seen it closer than anybody. But it was nice. So I commented on it, all the negative comments, that's terrible, whatever. And I was like, beautiful sable, great animal. So that was just kind of cool, doing the same thing. Yeah. Or like knowing you stayed in the same hunting lodge as Trump Jr. in Africa. But I mean, I don't know. You got any ideas? I just got a Rolodex of experiences.
Was I right about the helicopter comment?
Yes. Baboons. We did not hunt apes. That is.
Thank you for the clarification.
Baboons, not good. Pests.
All right, get inspiration in this. I'm going to mess them up. Here you go. Number 1 fear of Americans or people in the world is death. Number 2 is public speaking. So, Taylor, get your mind right. Come up here. You're going to warm up fast when you start walking. Haley, come up here. You're going to warm up when you start walking. And Aaron, come over here. So we're going to stair stack them right here. Haley and Aaron and Taylor right here. Come on, Taylor. Move. Move, girl. Get your mind right. Start thinking, what am I going to say? Don't mess this up. Don't embarrass mom and daddy. Let's go. Chop, chop. Move quick. Number 1 fear. Public speaking.
I'm scared.
Huh?
I'm scared.
You ain't scared? You scared?
I'm scared.
A little bit? All right, tell them who you are and whose you are. Tell them who you are and whose you are.
Hi, I'm Taylor, and Mom, Tia. is my mom.
Who's the daddy?
And Terry is my dad.
You. All right, same. Who you are and whose you are.
Hey everyone, I'm Erin Leventovich, and Mike and Noelle are my parents.
Hi, I am Haley Albright Manley, and Annie and Jane are my mom and dad.
Woohoo! You ever been sitting out there thinking, if they gave me that mic, I'm gonna tell you what I would tell them. You ever thought that? You ain't? Well, I guess you ain't got nothing to say then, do you? Wait. Here we go. Mama's got a suggestion. Why do you like coming to the convention? That's what Mommy says. Light them up. Talk to them like you need to hear it.
So I could listen to people talk.
You like people talk? What do you like to hear about?
Getting started.
Getting started. What I'm talking about, girl. Give me something about you. How old are you? Where are you in school? Or have you graduated yet? Do you have a job? Just tell them a little bit more about who you are and where you are.
I'm in 5th grade.
Good grades?
Yeah.
Straight A's, A's and B's, a few D's.
And I play softball.
Oh, you're a softball player?
Yeah.
Oh, athlete.
And I have a dog.
What kind of dog?
Yorkie.
What's his name?
Bruno.
What I'm talking about. Say the name again loud.
Bruno.
Bruno?
Yeah.
All right, good job. Y'all give her a hand. Good job. All right, real quick, Aaron. What's on you ever said that with a mic? If I had that mic, here's what I'd tell them.
Yeah, I've been coming to these for years. I've worked on staff and done different things as an agent on my parents' team for a couple of years now, and just coming to these always means the world to me. Seeing the people that my parents have served and the people that Andy has served is always incredible. Growing up in this business absolutely changed my life. Being able to travel, go to school, do what I do now, it's because of this. It's because of you. It's because of my parents, and I am eternally grateful
Where are you in school
for
now?
that always. I graduated from University of South Carolina in May, and now I live in Cleveland.
And you're working with?
I work with the Cavaliers up in Cleveland.
What do you do with them?
I'm in the ticket sales department.
You're in what?
Ticket sales department.
Ticket sales department. I love it. You learn how to sell tickets. That's what we need
Oh,
for you
yeah.
to do. All right, Haley, wrap us up.
It's been so cool growing up here, watching mom and dad change people's lives. Life insurance, I don't think is anybody's dream, but it's a springboard for your dreams. It's a springboard for freedom. And it's so cool to have grown up with you guys and to see y'all start this and y'all build your dreams too. So I think that's actually the coolest part. And I'm really proud of all of y'all in here too.
Good job. Good job, all of you. All right, you ready? You inspired? We got to go.
Yes, I would just say it may not be your kids, but there is somebody that you will inspire by doing activity. So I've been able to see, my dad inspire thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to do something. So I would encourage y'all, do something. Somebody is watching, and somebody will follow you, and somebody will love you and want to be with you and be a part of your team. Go out there, get one more.
Great job.